Okay. And now I have to. There we go. The head of the FBI testifying under oath before Congress, and then 5 years later being charged with lying during that testimony. Today I will inform you about the recent indictment of former FBI Director James Comey, explain why he was charged, and how different news sources report on the case, and what it all means for the justice system and public trust. This case is particularly relevant to college students because it illustrates the real-world consequences of misusing power and how political pressures can influence legal action. Whether we study law, politics, or journalism, or just care about democracy, the event has something to teach us. I became interested in this story because it bends law, government accountability, and media influence. I reviewed coverage from AP News, Reuters, and The Guardian to get a fuller picture. Each source covers similar facts but frames the story differently. Today I will inform you about Comey's charges, share what each source reports, and analyze the similarities and differences in their coverage. What exactly is James Comey charged with? On September 25th, a federal grand jury indicted James Comey on two felony counts, making false statements to Congress and obstructing congressional proceedings. The charges center around Comey's 2020 testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Ted Cruz asked whether Comey had ever authorized anyone at the FBI to act as an anonymous source in media stories related to Clinton or Trump investigations. Comey replied that he had not. But according to the indictment, Comey did authorize anonymous leaks, and prosecutors say his denial was false, misleading, and obscured the Senate's oversight function. These charges don't deal with whether Russia or the Clinton investigations were right or wrong. Instead, they accuse Comey of lying under oath and interfering with Congress. And what do the sources say? AP News gives a detailed breakdown of the legal charges and notes that is a historic moment. No other FBI director has been indicted after leaving office. It highlights how the indictment came just days before the statute of limitations would expire. Reuters focuses heavily on the testimony that led to the indictment. They explain how the prosecutors believe Comey's answers misled Congress and interfered with its role. The Guardian explores all the political reactions, especially how Donald Trump and his supporters are celebrating the charges. It also includes criticism from legal experts and lawmakers who call the case a dangerous abuse of power. Now, the similarities and differences. All three sources agree on the timeline and of the charges. Comey was indicted for false statements and obstruction based on testimony in 2020, but their emphases are different. AP News stays neutral and legalistic, sticking to facts. Reuters provides more background on Comey's exact words and how they conflict with the FBI's actions, and The Guardian focuses on the political fallout, including claims that his prosecution may be motivated by revenge from the president's allies. The difference shows how media framing can affect how we interpret legal events. AP explains what happened, Rutgers shows how it happened, and The Guardian asks why it might have happened. Today I informed you about the indictment of James Comey, one of the high-profile legal developments involving a U.S. official in years. I shared how AP News, Reuters, and the Guardian cover the event and how their approach varied in tone and focus. As a final thought, this indictment isn't just about one man, it's about truth and the role of government. Whether Comey is found guilty or not, the fact that we're watching the justice system turn inward shows the importance and complexity of accountability in a democracy. Thank you for listening.